Hello everybody, welcome into the Hobby Bar. This is Jason, and today we'll be continuing on Bang Bang here. Try to get a little bit more of her done. Feeling kind of a bit funky today though, so might not get too much done this week. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, if you do any hobbying or anything, feel free to jump in, join along, get some stuff done. If not, that's cool too. Appreciate you swinging by. But yeah, let's dive into trying to continue finishing up Bang Bang here. Get into a bit of more detail stuff. So let's get working. Alrighty, first up is going to be some Cephalopod Studios Yellowstone here. Want to start lightening up the hair, sort of have this yellow be the shadow recessy color, and then start brightening it up from here. So go into a bit of a Yellowstone color here, desaturated brownish yellow, to sort of get in there as the mid to highlight color. But yeah, gonna be starting to work on details here, so some of the paints we might start swapping around back and forth quite a bit. So I'll have that to look forward to. But turns out kinda got into a groove, but didn't turn out too bad, thankfully, so I get to keep it at right around where I wanted it for length in the end anyway. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this color here built up for sort of mid to highlight tone though on the hair, like I said earlier. And yeah, I'll go ahead and catch up with y'all here in a little bit for the next paint. Alrighty, next up here is going to be some Citadel Screaming Skull. Wanted to use this as sort of the final highlight color here on the hair. Just trying to build up towards the edges and where I feel like a lot of the light would hit it. And yeah, just similar process to before, but now with a much more, or much less saturated, sort of yellowish color. So, much brighter, much better highlight edge color. Was tempted to dry brush on the hair, but because the skirt's already done, it would kind of get a little messy, so I decided against it and just go with the whole wet brush method. But yeah, this process doesn't really take too long here since it's sort of a fine highlight, so. Up next we are bringing out Citadel Dryad Bark. For the Dryad Bark, I kind of wanted to use this on the handles of the pistols in Bang Bang's hands here. So, sort of just trying to get it into there for a brown. I didn't want to use the same brown as the leather coat or anything like that, so that's why I decided to break out the Dryad Bark for this. I do end up using some lights, using like some glasses with lights on them, basically. Some magnifiers with lights on them. So, that's where another light source is coming from, and later, I will pull it kind of out of focus as I'm trying to get a good view of what I'm doing, because of using the little headset magnifiers. But anyway, right now we're just putting paint here on the pistols, and won't really take too much longer, so that will just wrap up this process, and I'll catch up with you here shortly when we move on to the next paint. Alrighty, here we are breaking out Citadel Dawnstone again. The little frills around her neck didn't really seem gray to me, similar to the Dawnstone, so I want to really quickly break that out again. And this is where you'll see me pull it kind of out of focus because I'm holding it really close to the camera here at this point. And autofocus tends to like to put it in and out of focus way too much. Kind of realized after I did this bit that I was like, oh, I probably pulled it too close to the camera, but oh well. No big deal. Next up, we are breaking out Cephalopod Studios Black Knight. I wanted to use this one because, again, it's slightly thinner, or I should say vastly thinner paint than Citadel stuff, to try to gray up the crease in her hat and sort of help define the brim of the hat a bit better and stuff. And then also touch up the eyes a little. Get the eyeshadow, I guess it would be called, done up a bit more around the eyes, just to define the eyes a bit better. Was also what I wanted to use this for. But right now, just doing the hat again, because I noticed the hat crease was a little hard to see, so I wanted to come in here with this paint and really try to define it a bit better. And then, yeah, we're moving on to the eyes. But yeah, gonna be working on this for a little bit. So just redefining the eyes a bit, and then we'll have to touch it up, of course. But yeah, we'll finish up this process, and I'll catch up with y'all here in a bit for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Cephalopod Studios White Knight. After putting on the Black Knight around the eyes, I needed to come back in and touch up the whites of the eyes, so I figured we'll just use plain old White Knight for that. Yeah, nothing too special, it's just redefining the whites of the eyes. I could have used an off-white, just to make it a bit better, but I figured with since I'm going over black mostly, it'll sort of give it an off-white tone anyway. So, in the end it did end up working out fine. So, we'll just go around redefining those eyes up. And, yeah, that should be it for the White Knight this time. We're gonna come back to White Knight a bit later, when we try to touch up some other things. Also hit the teeth there. And then, yeah, try to figure out what else to work on. Noticed that the purple there was a bit dry because I wanted to use some more of the purple later. But we do come back in with White Knight here and start highlighting up the little frills there around her neck. But yeah, that'll be it for White Knight here. Now we're moving on to Citadel Abaddon Black. Wanted to just use Abaddon Black for the better coverage of it, basically. So I figured I'd break it out, use it to sort of define the chest piece there, because there was effectively a line at the top going around anyway, and I couldn't really figure out what color to make that line offhand. So I figured, we'll just go in with Abaddon Black and darken it out. Then do spend a bit of time with Abaddon Black, because this is where I figure, you know what, I'm not really happy with how the crease is defined, so we'll put some of it in there. And yeah, just start Abaddon Blacking up some different things. And I think we also do the the leg garters, I think they would be called. Things that connect her shorts to her leggings, basically, that she's got going on. But yeah, we'll be working with Abaddon Black here for a little while longer. And yeah, I'll catch up with y'all here shortly for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are breaking out Citadel and Naggaroth Night. I wanted to come in and sort of make sure that the purple was established here under the hair, under the hat, I mean, a bit better for the shadow color there. Did notice while I was working with the black or the brown, one of the previous colors, got a spot on her chin, so I've kept meaning to go back to a skin tone to touch that up a bit better, but haven't really gotten around to it yet at this point. Anyway, nothing too special, just purpling it up under the hat brim there, all around it. And before we move on to the next paint, next paint we're gonna bust out some more Citadel Dawnstone here, because I figured we'll gray her shorts, and then we can highlight it up to white, similar to the little neck frills there that we got going on. So I also noticed that some of the chest piece there, the white stripes weren't quite right. So then we jump over to White Knight and touch up those areas. Since we put some Dawnstone on there, I wanted to re-highlight it back up with the White Knight here for those areas. And then also start hitting the shorts. Since we started graying up the shorts, I wanted to now highlight up some of those areas on the shorts. But yeah, like I said, going into a little more detail stuff, so we're going to flip back and forth between paints a little bit quicker here in some parts. Since they're not big, super big areas that we're going to be using these paints on. So now we're into Citadel Kislev Flesh. I'm going to use this to lighten up the wood on the pistols here. It kind of worked well when I was playing around with flesh tones on trees. I might just use a Agrax Earthshade wash over it or something to sort of brown it back up and tie it back together. But we'll figure that out later. Right now we're moving on to trying Snakebite Leather though on the belt here, because the white belt was starting to annoy me, so I wanted to leather it up, but I didn't want it to be the same leather as the coat she's got going on. So that's why we're breaking out Snakebite Leather here. You take a look at it and go, oh, what the heck, let's just do the second coat right away, since the first coat was very thin. So, gonna put it on a little bit thicker here. A little bit too thick because some of it ends up running into the gap between the belt between the belts there on her belly. And so we get to basically erase that out of there. Get some water and use the brush tip there to drag it out and clean it back up before it settles in there too much. Next up, we're breaking out metallics. We're going into Citadel Screaming Bell. This is basically a copper metallic of theirs, a base paint kind of copper metallic. And I've kind of started liking using this below gold instead of just putting Retributor Armour over the white primer. Putting this stuff on first, the Screaming Bell. I don't know why. It just seems to work a little bit better. And then I can sort of just establish a mid-tone with the Retributor Armour over this Screaming Bell. So basically setting up gold over the copper, and the copper can kind of be the shadow color anyway underneath it, and then I don't necessarily have to wash it if, or use a wash over it, I should say, if I'm being careful. But, yeah, I mostly wanted to do the emblem on her hat with this, and then start realizing where else copper could be used. So we're going to use some of it on the pistols as well, just a little bit. On the, oh, what would that be? On these. Basically the little bit below the barrel. I figured, oh, what the heck, we'll make that copper. And then the barrel of their pistols itself can be the actual silvery bit, or Leadbelcher bit, because that's what we're going to use, surprise. But yeah, those will be the main things with it. Oh, and then we also hit the belt buckle with copper, just because that's also going to be golden later. So basically just establishing the metal areas real quick before we move on to the next bit. Alrighty, here we are breaking out Citadel and Retributor Armour now, and kind of trying to use this more in highlighted areas, and then I just sort of, this way some of the copper's still showing through, but then, figure most of this will be well lit on her head anyway, so don't really have to be too careful with it. Just gonna start getting him more on a lot of those areas. And then, you just add some to the belt buckle there. And that'll be that for Retributor Armour for now, anyway. Alrighty, next up is Leadbelcher. Again, Citadel paint. I tend to like their metallics, though I feel like I need to try to find a better one. Anyway, just Leadbelchering up the pistols, the barrels on the pistols. And then after I do that, I realized, well, kind of need to get the side plates and the hammer on these old pistols. So, need to figure out what we're gonna do for that. And think we figure it out though, because we break out Retributor Armour again. That's right. We're just gonna gold it up over these white areas on the plates. Just so I can kind of see if there's much of a difference for Retributor Armour over the copper versus Retributor Armour over just the white primer. It's sort of a difference. It's not super noticeable, but it's kind of noticeable. And then we basically immediately transition into Leadbelcher again. And for this bit of Leadbelcher, I want to hit the hilts of the handles effectively. There's sort of a little nubbin on the bottom of the wood there, and I could have left it wood, or we're gonna make it metal, because maybe she wants to crack something in the face with the butt end of her pistol or something. You never know what you might need to slap somebody with it for. And then also do the trigger guards and stuff. Get the metal bits to be metal on the pistol there. So that's what we're doing with the Leadbelcher real quick. And yeah, I'll catch up with y'all here shortly for the last paint of the day. Alrighty, now we're breaking out Vallejo Elfic Flesh. Just because after I finished the metallics, I figured I would be done for the day. But the little spot on the bottom of Bang Bang's chin there was really bothering me. So I just wanted to bust out Elfic Flesh and basically try to correct that. And in the process, kind of ended up lightening up her skin tone overall because I put a thin layer of it over everything basically at that point. So we just gotta correct the lower part of her face basically and get it all to the same skin tone color. So we're just going over and applying it over all of her face again, just to make sure everything matches up and gets to dry together again. But yeah, that'll be it for jamming out the work this week on Bang Bang here. Thankfully not too many more details to hammer out, but we'll figure that out here next time before we can start working on the basing on her. But yeah, getting closer to done with her. And we'll talk about that more in the last call here. Alrighty, last call everybody, last call. So, today's last call, that's where we're ending up with Bang Bang right now. Just gotta, basically just gotta start getting the varnish on. Get the gloss varnish on the eyes and probably satin varnish the clothes and matte varnish other things. And yeah, I think she'll be almost done at that point. And then just got a base. And yeah, call her good to go. But we'll see how it feels after taking picture and doing the spin. Spoiler alert, I do those typically after recording this audio. So we'll see how all that feels then. But anyway, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today for this. Or whenever you're watching it. And yeah, hopefully you got whatever you're working on done or you enjoyed hanging out here. And with that, go ahead and sign out. So take care everybody. Take care out there everybody. And have a good one out there. I'll see you around.